What's going on, guys? Love Smash back with an all new video for you guys today, and in today's video I'm coming with you with an all new Mortal Kombat video. Specifically, we're going to be discussing Mortal Kombat 11, a game I've been really itching and fiending to discuss. A little while back we had this leak come out. Of course, leaks, or whether we believe them to be true or not, that's entirely up to you. And Injustice 2 has been hitting with the reveals. We're on our final pack of characters that are going to be revealed. We're just waiting on 2 more to come out so we can see who they are. And when Injustice 2 DLC is all said and done, we will most likely get to hear some news about MK11, whether we're going to see Ed Boon do some cryptic tweets on Twitter. For the time being, we may see some leaks or so, or some rumors, at least more of them pop up, until we eventually see the game revealed or announced at some point. Most likely going to happen next year, at least that's my prediction. But that leads us to today's topic, my top 10 expectations for Mortal Kombat 11. Now, it should go without saying, but I'll mention it anyway. I don't expect all of these things to happen, nor do I think all these things will happen, but here are 10 ideas I think would be cool to see in the upcoming game. Now, obviously, NetherRealm can go any which way they want with what they want to include in the game, but I wanted to discuss a few things whether fans have been speculating about or my personal wants for the upcoming title. So without further ado, let's dive in with number 1, the return of a classic finisher. Mortal Kombat has been known for tons of finisher, whether they're fatalities, brutalities, animalities, hara-kiris, friendships, quitalities, so on and so forth. But there are 3 finishers we haven't seen for a very long time, those being friendships, animalities, and hara-kiris. 3 of which I would think would be cool to see. Now, I'm not saying all 3 should happen or will happen, I'm just saying it would be cool to see one of them return in the upcoming game. Now, personally, I would love to see friendships return. I've always loved how back in the day when Mortal Kombat was so infamous and known, it was this new thing, nobody ever saw blood and gore to such an extent in a game, and it got so much media attention, and to combat that, they came back with friendships and babalities in MK2. And I've always loved friendships, how they brought that comic relief, so that would be my personal favorite. But Hara-kiri would be a close second in terms of the tournament scene, where it would have that cool idea you'd be able to perform a Hara-kiri before your opponent can perform a fatality or a brutality to kill you and finish you off. I think that would be a cool little nod to see in the tournament scene to kind of keep people on their toes. And of course, we have animalities when people either love them or they hate them. They're always cool, and we haven't seen them and friendships since MK Trilogy, I think was the last time, but if you're going by the game's official, like, 10 titles, it would be Ultimate MK3. But to see one of those return in the upcoming game would be really awesome. Especially now with the technology we have, to see friendships or animalities in full HD, definitely would be pretty cool. Moving on to number 2 are more classic returning characters, bringing them back. Now, obviously MK9 brought back every character that appeared from MKs 1, 2, and 3. However, when it came to MKX, a lot of characters did not return. We got more newcomers, and we got more characters that played into the game's story. Now, I remember in times of speculating with the Kombat Pack 2 and even the Kombat Pack 3, which never came to fruition, a lot of fans wanted to see characters like Fujin. A lot of fans wanted to see Rain, who, even though we did see him as DLC in MK9, they wanted to see him as DLC. We did get a few. We got like Tanya and Baraicho as DLC. We had Tremor make a revival, and we'll talk a little more about characters like Tremor later in the video. There was Serena, who was a highly requested character for the Kombat Pack. There was Li Mei. There were other 3D era characters. And of course, the Revenant characters. We only got to see a few of them, but characters like Ball or Sindel or Striker, and even Jade, who we never got an answer to, another thing we'll talk about later in the video. A lot of classic characters were left out, so to see a few of them return, whether they're going to be part of the game's story or DLC down the line, which NetherRealm seems to love pumping out, we definitely got to see some more classic returning MK characters. Moving on now to number 3, which is fleshing out the game's story mode. Now, obviously, we have this brand new timeline. We had MK9, which served as the reboot, and then MKX took it 25 years in the future, and the current timeline differs from the original timeline in the Mortal Kombat lore, where now Johnny Cage and Sonya have a daughter in Cassie, Jax has a daughter with Jackie, Kenshi has a son with Takeda, and we have Kung Jin, the descendant of Kung Lao, with all these new offspring characters, and this new story mode that took place with Kotal Kahn being the new Emperor, a lot of characters being killed in the game story, like Baraka or Melina or Quan Chi. Spoilers if you haven't played, but the game took on a dramatically new story, so to flesh out the game's story more now to see what they can bring to the table, we now have Dark Raiden. Raiden is not taking any more crap, he's taken on the Dark Persona again, and he is not letting anyone slide if they try to take down Earthrealm. We have Liu Kang and Katana as the new Emperor and Empress of the Netherrealm. We have a lot of aged Mortal Kombat characters, and that's something I think is going to be really interesting to see where where this game ends up taking place after the events of MKX. What is going to happen? How many years or how many months, most likely years, are they going to go into the future to flesh out the story? Is there going to be a new enemy that pops up? Are they going to try to borrow elements from like classic games like Armageddon, Deception, or Deadly Alliance? Obviously they can't because the events have changed, but they could borrow certain elements and have characters return and play stories like you've seen with the MKX comic. We've seen a lot of characters we didn't see, a lot of them were killed, but we've seen a lot of hints here and there what the game could eventually lead to. So fleshing out the game story is number 3 and something that's going to be really intriguing to see. On to number 4, more awesome newcomers. Now, for the longest time, MK had kind of been limping to the barn with a lot of the characters they included, specifically the 3D era characters. While there were a few bright spots, a lot of those characters really never caught on with diehard MK fans and were disliked or even hated to the extent that they felt Midway at the time, or now NetherRealm, was running out of ideas. But with MKX, we got to see a lot of really awesome newcomers. I personally love Cassie, Aaron Black. Triborg was a great addition as DLC. We had interesting characters like Kotal Khan or Ferritor, and all the Descendant characters, and just Aaron Black being a character fans were just hoping when they were reading the MKX comic to be in the game, and obviously he was. And to see what NetherRealm has in store in terms of newcomers and how they'll play into the game's stories and interact with the older characters, or what impact they'll have in the game's story, it definitely gives us a lot to look forward to. Moving on to the next one, we have a new gaming mechanic that can be introduced. Now, we've seen a ton of new mechanics in every MK game. We've had variations in MKX, X-rays in MK9, the 3 system that we had in Deadly Alliance, weapons combat in MK4, etc., etc. So to see what NetherRealm has in store for a new mechanic when it comes to MK11, that's going to be something really cool to see. We've had even like, maybe we could see one brought back, like we had the free fall in combat in Mortal Kombat vs. DC, or the boxing close range combat we could see return, or this new mechanic we may not even know, but we'll have to wait and see what kind of tricks NetherRealm has up their sleeves. On to the next one, reviving forgotten characters. Now, this is what something was kind of cool that MK was always known for, whether they started and created characters that were started from fan rumors and urban legends, or revived characters that basically no one knew about. For instance, Tremor. Tremor was a character nobody really even knew about. MK Special Forces was a game that flopped, but a lot of fans were petitioning and wanted to see Tremor added as a playable character. Lo and behold, he was part of the Combat Pack 1. And NetherRealm has a few characters like that, like Tasia or No Face. They even have Hornbuckle, who appeared in the Pit 2 stage in MK2 fighting Blaze, or Belloc, who was a character who was cut from development in MK4. They have a few things here and there that were left on the cutting room floor that it would be cool to see in terms of having these characters come to life and be playable in an upcoming game. We've seen it with Tremor, so I don't think it's out of the realm of reality, but I think they have a few bright spots here and there, like a character like Serena, for example, who was in Sub-Zero mythologies and then basically became a playable character. She had an appearance in MKX, but they have a blank slate of these characters that are just sitting there doing nothing that they could do a lot with and have some great additions to the roster, most likely in terms of DLC. On to the next one, explaining the mysterious characters. For example, we have 3 mysterious characters, 4 if you count Shao Kahn, even though a lot of fans seem to think he either died or is being held captive by the Elder Gods. But we have 3 characters with Noob, Shang Tsung, and Jade that we never really did get a real good explanation of what happened to them. Never was explained in the comic, never was explained in MKX's story. We had Noob, who kicked in the Soul Needle by Nightwolf in MK9, and we never saw him again. We did get little tidbits like the intro between Baraicho and Sub-Zero, or the Kung Lao and Sub-Zero interaction. So that means Noob could somehow be existing and could make a return, because we never did get a definite answer if he lived or died. Same with Shang Tsung. His soul was put into Sindel by Shao Kahn, and then after Sindel died and became a Revenant, we never found out what happened to Shang Tsung, even though, yes, he appeared in 2 endings in MKX, but remember, endings are either non-canon or semi-canon, so we still don't know what really happened to him. But obviously Sindel was definitely weaker than she appeared in MKX than she was in MK9, because she killed everyone in MK9. And then we have Jade, who Kitana has the mournful variation, but we never got an explanation of what happened to her. Of course, there's been endings hinting at this mysterious woman, and a lot of people have been linking her to Jade, but we never even saw her as a Revenant in MKX or in the comic. Last we saw her was a Revenant in MK9, and no explanation. So to build on that, and something we could see in MK11, definitely does make that kind of exciting to see some mysteries finally get fleshed out and explained, especially for those 3 characters, or even Shao Kahn, you can include it in the discussion as well. On to number 8, Mortal Kombat mini games. There was chess combat, there was puzzle combat, there was motor combat. A few of these got to appear in the most recent MK titles, but we never saw them again. So to see these kind of introduced and brought back, or a new minigame to be introduced, would be kind of cool to see. Little tidbit here to take away from the grittiness and fighting of Mortal Kombat, and just unwind and kick back and, you know, play some puzzle games, play some chess or a racer, or do something along those lines. Would be kind of interesting to see in MK11. On to number 9. The MK11 comic, or if that actually happened. Sean Kittleson hinted that he wants to do more work on MK comics, and this is by far one of my favorite things to do every week, waiting for the new edition to come out so I could read it. That was something really cool leading up to when MKX finally came out. Now, it depends most likely how far into the future after MKX the new timeline and story mode will take place to see if there's room for a comic, or they could do something along the lines of after the story and have a comic book come out after MK11's release. But I'm hoping to see something in between, because that was really awesome to see a lot of those classic characters brought back, even though a lot of them did die. But to see a lot of unanswered questions between MK9 be answered and new characters introduced leading up really build the hype for MKX. So to see that for MK11 would definitely be one of my favorite things to see. Now on to the last one. We have guest characters. Whether you love them or hate them, it seems likely that NetherRealm will be adding guest characters to this game, and it's easy to see why. We've seen them do it in MK9, starting with Freddy Krueger, then in Injustice 1 with Scorpion, and Ed Boon has stated these characters make the most money. They make more than seeing another superhero or another MK fighter added, and the answer is obvious because they appeal to the mainstream audience. If you see Predator or Jason in MK, it's going to appear to a lot of people who don't play MK as much, and not really those die-hard fans, those casual players who know about Mortal Kombat but don't know too much about like the game's story or the history, and they just want to play a fighting game. To see like a character like Jason or Alien, or to have like Scorpion or Sub-Zero in Injustice, whatever the case may be, or like Hellboy in Injustice, it's going to appeal. Those out-of-place characters are always going to make more money. So it wouldn't be shocking to see Ed Boon and NetherRealm want to add guest characters to another Mortal Kombat game. Even though a lot of fans were upset that we got so many in MKX, they put a lot in Injustice 2. We may see a 4th one, now there's 3, but we could see more horror movie characters. I know a lot of fans have been clamoring for Pennywise from It, and Spawn has definitely been the biggest one. And Spawn is a character a lot of fans wanted to see in MKX, and there was that whole thing with Todd McFarlane stating he gave NetherRealm clearance to, and they squandered it. And then there's been other fans hoping for maybe more console exclusive characters, like we see with Kratos in MK9, maybe Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal, or Marcus Phoenix. Other fans have been hoping for Rorschach in Injustice 2. If he doesn't get in, maybe we'll see him in MK11. Who knows? But guest characters, I think, are definitely a possibility for the game, even though, like I said, a lot of fans weren't too keen with so many of them being added last time around. But anyway, guys, those are my top 10 expectations for MK11. What do you guys think about these? Did I miss anything that you want to see? Be sure to let me know in the comments. Which one of these do you want to see? Which ones do you not like the idea of seeing in the upcoming title? Anything you guys want to mention, please feel free to. And like I said, if you want to check out any of my MK11 speculation videos, you can click the links in the comments and description below. But anyway, guys, that is the video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And like always, for all the latest fighting game news and speculation, be sure to subscribe to my channel and follow me on Twitter. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon with a brand new video.